Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros. We are back. Sorry, we are an hour early today. That is my fault, but I think this is gonna be the new normal going forward here with Tuesdays being the definitive Battle Royale Dog Bowl previews of the week. We did it last year. We would do it every Wednesday at 2 p.m. I think with the contest being dropped a little bit earlier this year and not waiting for Monday Night Football to end and stuff, we got a little more time to prep and a little more time to get some drafts under our belt. So I think this is the new norm. I think we're going to start doing this on Tuesdays from here on out. So anytime you're looking for the Battle Royale Streets info, it starts here. First stop is right here, Inez.
That's right. This is it, man. We're the place. We're the place to be. A little bit of a first look type of deal. I mean, the lobby once again just totally flush with options, as we kind of alluded to in prior shows. But a major primetime palooza in there right now. I don't know if you saw the biggest one yet, 200K.
Wow.
For this primetime palooza. I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, it makes sense that
the
big ass one would be when the draft window is the longest, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because like we have until Thursday to draft that one. But these slates have been awesome. Like the primetime palooza slates, the worst game of the bunch was last night's game, and you still had some crazy chaos with Lazard's two touchdowns and Jordan Mason with the late scratch on CMC. Something that I kind of like wish we'd harped on a little bit more yesterday, which was kind of unfortunate. I didn't think inactive was in play.
I didn't think that was in play at all.
Yeah.
I did not.
Dude, evergreen reminder that this is week 1 and this is the variance we're amassing with these contests already. Like that, we got to get Galbrainy on these 2 game slates because the scroll the F down is a big ass thing for those 2 gamers, right?
Yeah, that CMC situation pissed me off.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it pissed everybody off, especially with the Jordan Mason comments after the fact where he kind of like, accidentally put his foot in his mouth about saying that he'd known since Friday and whatever. Like, yeah, that pisses the whole betting, gambling, gaming community off, right?
Yeah. And like just like very little reporting on how that calf was being handled, or at least maybe I just missed it. Exactly. I mean, I knew that it was a lingering thing, and I knew that it was calf and Achilles. And we had said multiple times, like, hey, there's a chance that CMC doesn't get that legendary workload because of this. Never once thought that his status for week 1 was in question. I mean, they said he pulled himself out of practice, and then I also heard that he just literally has not practiced yet in this football season. So like there's a lot of like ambiguity that in this day and age, and I mean, I'm not trying to make myself the victim here. I'm not, like 100%. Like
hugs for Nez now trending on Twitter again.
Hugs for Nez. Yeah. But like these rules and stuff are like in place for a reason. So, I am pretty pissed, but I'm not going to make it like my whole, I'm not gonna make a whole fucking deal about it, but while we're here, that's very annoying. But like, this is a Shanahan thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like that's par for the course for him to be incredibly ambiguous about, usage and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy that he came in like even after like the late scratch, like just the scenario in general, even after the late scratch, that Jordan Mason actually just came in there and was like 90% CMC. It was crazy, man. Most carries since high school and like all this stuff. Like it was actually insane that the role just turned out like that well. I thought I was gonna be swimming in it this morning, Nez, with my weekly winners stuff. 28% Jordan Mason in weekly winners, but very, very little Saquon and Jaden Reed. So
how much money did you make in week 1?
I actually didn't look yet.
You didn't count your bucks?
No, I actually haven't even looked. I'll look right now. I think it was like actually 0, dude. Like, which is crazy. Dude, well, it's just so top heavy. And when you don't have the 30+ burger from Saquon that's separated and the 30+ burger from Jaden Reed, like it doesn't matter what happened with it literally just doesn't even matter with what happened with Mason at the back end of drafts. It's crazy.
Yeah, I made $36. So
Oh, dude, you're better than me, I think. So is it inactive still, or will it be in results? Like, has it been paid out yet?
I don't think it's paid out, but you can see you're
It's in
winning.
so then it's in the live, it's in best ball.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a refresh here. Oh, I guess I'm not even pulling it up on the screen, so this isn't even like a fun live sweat.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
it's okay.
I had one lineup cash.
There you go.
Yeah. I had one
Nice.
lineup cash, a Lamar Likely, Neighbors, Cup, Jefferson, Jordan Mason, Ramondre Stevenson, Tony Pollard. It's like the most John
And
lineup of
and
all time.
yeah, it is. And John, I promise, dude, I'm not gonna, kick you while you're down. You were like the definitive playing for week 1 guy
I
too,
know.
right?
Yeah. It's crazy. And I played the shit out of week 1 and yeah, there we go. $7. Way to
Yeah,
go,
you're actually
buddy.
playing for week 2. You're actually
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
for week 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny as shit.
Dude,
I mean,
it's crazy to be like, yo, I'm playing for week 1. I was playing for week 1 and I aped in on Jordan Mason and I still made no money. Like that's crazy.
that is crazy, right? All those
Yeah.
things considered, I thought, yeah, you would just be flush with cash there. That's all right. I mean, definitely. Week 2 is in your
It's
future.
actually nuts that like the first BR week of the season was like one of like my worst BR weeks in recent memory, and it was all my guys that got home. Like,
Right?
dude,
Isn't that
Likely, Mason, Baker doubles, Pitts, redacted. Like it's crazy.
it really makes it like that much worse, right?
Uh-huh.
Whenever like you are missing because of, dude, my dog.
What's he doing?
He's trying
That's
to make a
funny.
bed out of the carpet that has no give to it at all. So he's scratching the shit out of it. It's all right. We're out of this place in a month anyhow. Go ahead. Rip it
Yeah,
up.
actually, yeah. Life news. Nezzy's life news here. He closed on a house this morning. How rich? How rich?
How
There we
poor,
go, bro.
brother. How
Yeah,
fucking poor. Oh
yeah.
my gosh. I had to show them like, yeah, look at my CLV in best ball in best ball. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is good. Yeah, this qualifies as equity that you have. This goes towards your net worth for sure."
Yeah.
Yeah, and in other life news, we did find out the gender
Oh,
of the baby.
do you guys gonna do like a reveal or something like that? Or are you?
Yeah, we are actually. I told.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I don't want
Yeah,
to.
I
I
was
don't
about
want to
to
say. I
say.
don't want to say.
Yeah,
I did kind
Bria's
of
way,
tease that I would, but you guys got to guess.
dude. You and Bria are way too online to not do like a throw the football exploded or whack the golf ball exploded. Like you're way too online for that. At least to cut the cake and see if it's blue or pink inside.
Yeah, we're having the dog help us out with that. So
Oh, that's a
I'll
fun one.
share it with you guys. Yeah, you're
Okay.
right. I almost I'm getting too excited.
Yeah, man.
I gotta let him out of this office because he's pissing
Yeah,
me
yeah,
off.
do your thing. Do your thing. Yeah, Bendo's my guy. The people are asking right now, is this the definitive t-shirt that was being swung over my head with the Isaiah Likely second touchdown that was called back? And it is in fact the shirtless one. This is the brand new. Nez knows this. I have a bit that the wife hates, that every time I go somewhere, I buy ABC store or like whatever the local little store is. I buy $5 t-shirts and then I wear the shit out of them for like a month and a half and then never wear them again. So yeah,
It's a great tradition.
it is. It is a fun tradition. I like it. But the ABC store ones are in Vegas are basically the exact same as Hawaii. They just changed Las Vegas or Hawaii in the middle. So I actually have this. When I came home, I was like, oh, it's the exact same shirt with instead of Hawaii in the middle. Okay. Anyways, who cares? Nez, let's I'm done filibustering. I touched on it to start the show yesterday. I wanted to give Underdog some props and stuff like that, listening to the community, fixing up that gladiator program. Pete and I had some conversations in Vegas there about it, like just about not the program specifically, but like just a macro lens of like what rakeback is, who it's designed for, and what it should be and look like kind of thing. And I think Underdog got really, really close this second iteration. Kind of satisfies both parties because the whole idea of the rakeback is if you have very little money in your account and you're just playing $100 a week, that you can find a way to, even if you lose, get a little bit of that back. And then the other end of the spectrum is if you play a lot, and you make this your profession, or you want to be incentivized to make this your profession and jump to the next tier, that then you get more money back for doing so, right? So satisfying both of those polar extremes is what you want to do. And the first iteration didn't do that because the threshold to get rake back was just so effing high. This new iteration does that, and it's closer to what we had last year. So glad that all the feedback was heard. Glad that we ended up with something like this. And yeah, thoughts, Nez?
Yeah, I mean, like, let's be real. It needed an update.
Yeah.
The initial iteration of the Gladiator program, I don't think baked in the growth of the games to the extent that we saw. So an update was totally needed. I mean, the feedback was unavoidable from the first one. I mean, they were getting it from every angle, and I'm glad that they listened and adjusted to this current iteration. It is a little tough to hit during football season, but during NBA season, you have 170 entries to get in a day for a sport that is very easy to get entries in for. So with all of that taken into consideration, this was great. It shouldn't be super easy to get 50% of your rake back. Like we
Right.
were spoiled. We
Yeah.
were really spoiled with the old program. I think you have to understand where they're coming from with this change, and for the people that are putting in mass drafts, like you said, this is this is good. Like this is attainable. This
Mhm.
is where it should be, because rakeback, they don't have to offer it at all.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. The other thing I would just add to that is the addition of the auto draft feature has kind of changed the perception of rakeback and how many drafts will get done. Maybe that means in the future that we should start pushing rakeback towards monetary numbers. Like one to bomb is not the equivalent of one battle royale, right?
Mhm.
Like that is actually, considerably more, what, 20x or whatever. Yeah, like maybe there's something there in the future. But I think what was taken way too into account with the first iteration was just the fact that, oh, people could just like put 150, push the plane on auto, and it's like 2 seconds of work, you know? And that was like, oh, that could be. Whereas in the past, you'd at least have to spend 30-40 minutes on a la T-box every single morning on the app going, okay, in set ranks playing, in set ranks playing, blah 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 blah, right?
Mhm.
So I think maybe it was overcompensated for and overstated the first time, and then they walked it back like, okay, this is a reasonable middle ground based on what the community says.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely agree. I'm happy
Mhm.
with where this is at, and I feel confident that there will be, obviously they're not going to just like leave draft games alone. There's future innovation coming, as well, where right now the mass draft feature for dailies is only auto draft. You can go in and change it, to non auto draft, but I do feel confident in the future we will have the ability to toggle. But for now, this is great. And like you said, because of the fact that it is draft, just raw drafts, and one wildcat equals one to bomb. Yeah, I am kind of maybe donating. I don't know. We'll see in the wildcat, but like I'm definitely using that as a way to ladder up in these in these tiers.
Mhm. All right. Some questions in the chat there. Yeah, the Numi, thank you. This is next thing we were going to hit on is the scoring period from it is Tuesday to Monday. So just be aware of that. The payouts come as it says on the graphic there every Wednesday. Those are about 5 p.m. Eastern, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern is kind of like the typical time slot that it kind of just appears. You usually get like a little push notification on your phone when it pops in to your account there. And then just the dog bowls and then those isolated sit and goes and rake free contests are not included. So just be aware of that. We haven't had a rake free contest in a minute since I can't remember what the last one was, but there will be, some special ones like last year, the T-Box Invitational, and they did a big Thanksgiving promo. So like some of those weeks will remind everyone that like, oh yeah, this won't count to your rake back. Like just be aware of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, beautiful. Naz, let's hit on the slate, man. Are there generational wealth opportunities with some of this overreaction to week one here? I mean, Christian McCaffrey is going quite high in these drafts right now. We got Mark Andrews behind Isaiah Likely. We got Cooper Kupp, my blessed Cooper Kupp, highest exposed player up there at the flirting with the 101. Nez, let's like pick apart what's overreaction, what's underreaction, some of our targets and stuff that we like. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think
Actually,
dog bowls last night
mhm,
were a lot of Jordan Mason going in like the 5th and 6th round.
yeah,
And I don't say that to like, boogeyman people out of playing those contests, because like just because Jordan Mason is gone in the 6th round, and even if he is the starter with CMC out again, that doesn't make the contest like impossible to win. There's a
I got
chance that, I mean, there's a lot of guys that can outscore Jordan Mason still, but
Of course, yeah. I got one isolated, and then even more so on a 13 game slate versus a two, but I have an isolated example of exactly that. How about last night? Right? Where it's just like nobody's going to pair Jordan Mason and Alan Lazard together all day long, but they're going to pair Jordan Mason and Alan Lazard together once CMC is ruled out. So you basically effectively didn't even have access to the combo unless you scrolled twice in like a gross gnarly fashion. And if you did so, you probably paired it with Aaron Rodgers, and that team's drawing dead right now to win the primetime Palooza. So that's
yeah.
just like you want an example of why not to be scared. Hey, let's look no further than last night. Like,
Yeah, and I think that you can also use that as a lesson for, just how you should be drafting.
mhm,
So to land on the nuts of Jordan Mason and Alan Lazard, you probably, if you did it ideally, you
mhm.
have maybe a Tua team, maybe a Josh Allen team,
Yeah,
and you're boxed out at running back, and you maybe took Kincaid. Hopefully, you took Kincaid. Maybe it was a Tyreek team, and then you're boxed out. So you're like, all right, well, I'll take the Jordan Mason team, and I'll then scroll for Alan Lazard, as opposed to just trying to force like a stack or something. I don't know. I just think that it does kind of, there's draft principles, in my opinion, that you should be thinking about, and I think that was definitely one of the things. I was taking Alan Lazard. I thought I had way more Alan Lazard than I ended up with. I
yeah.
do have some decent Alan Lazard teams, but like, oh man, oh, I wish, you know the Mike Williams thing, man. That was such a rug. That was such a rug.
Yeah, I mean they told us he'd be limited, but
I didn't
yeah,
think he was like
not
basically not going to
forced.
play.
Yeah, 4 snaps limited, right? Like he was in
Yeah,
there
like
for
Jesus H.
yeah, he was in there for one red zone set early there, and it was literally just one play, and then he came back. Yeah, anyways, yeah, not to harp on last night, just like an analogy associated with like even when you're right, you can be wrong because of the combinations that are available. So some of these like Jordan Mason teams right now that are 6th round Jordan Mason, well, they probably don't have access to Justin Fields, for instance, because nobody was pairing Mason and Fields together because we didn't know Fields was starting until this morning. Or, I'm just like, not that that could necessarily be the nuts, but I'm just thinking through combos as why not to be deterred. Okay, let's talk about like the overarching on the slate of just like a couple ADPs right now, other than Mason was one of the first ones that came to mind. The debate of Likely versus Andrews is one that comes to mind. Anyone else that's like really jumping out to you? I would throw in the same vein, I would throw Debo in here when the projections and stuff come out. Like I think Debo is going to be really pushed up. Where's some potential CLV in your mind? Either 6 or 12 man contest.
Yeah, trying to think here. I think that there's some really good opportunity with this Washington Commanders offense against the Giants this week.
Mm-hmm.
saw Jaden Daniels run a ton, get in the end zone twice on the ground, and just really think that there's a really good opportunity for Terry McLaurin to have like a really strong game. On the flip side, I think this is, I mean, John, lest we forget, week 2 Dog Bowl qualifier last year was a Danny Dimes team from myself.
Mhm.
I'm feeling very similar dynamics with this
Okay.
week 2 coming off. He came off a putrid performance
Yep.
last year from week 1. This year, going up against Washington off a putrid performance seems good to me. Uh, I just think I don't know about overreactions. I know we're kind of talking about overreactions right now, but like Kyron Williams as an ADP of 16, that's just wrong.
Yep. Agreed.
That
I have
that's
him on every single team I've done so far
yeah,
in the six mans.
that's just like, you want to talk about generational wealth opportunities. He's he needs to be like a top 8 pick.
Yep, I agree with you. I think the when I hopped in yesterday and the ADPs were all set by the previous contest and stuff like that, and Cooper Cup was down at like 7 and 8 and stuff like that. The stuff I was chasing, this was pre Jordan Mason, keep in mind, because that basically hadn't taken place yet. The stuff I was chasing, Kyron was one, Cup was one, Neighbors in the sixth was one, Andrews over likely was one that I was chasing there. Those were like the big ones that stuck out to me. We can go game by game, we can go position by position and this sort of thing in a minute here. But yeah, any other ones that are just like kind of like popping off the page for you?
Well, I mean, the tight ends are like really fun because this is a loaded tight end slate and
Easy
everybody
going.
just dudded. So, take your pick as far as which ones you want. They're freely available for you at any point in the draft. So that makes drafting dynamics really fun. Um, and I think it makes auto drafting really fun as well. I just like to, I mean, I don't know how many people are, watching us like are trying to dabble with the auto drafting stuff. But the reason I say that is because like these tight ends all have like, I think, pretty decent ceilings, or at least the ability to separate strongly from one another on a given week. You can really just kind of put one of these tight ends that you prefer in like your run of auto drafts. Maybe you're doing 10, maybe you're doing 5 or 15, whatever. And just put one a couple picks ahead of ADP, and then like leave everybody else like way off your rank. So that way you're not flexing one of them, and then like knowing those set of like autos, like these are my Travis Kelsey autos, these are my Trey McBride autos, especially if you're trying to get your rake back up and you're trying to like maybe you're looking at the Wildcat. Just a dynamic that I'm noticing with ADP, but I think it's a lot of fun. Like I think Travis Kelsey can find himself in the end zone a couple times against the Bengals, right? I mean, like why not?
Yeah.
It's just very fun dynamics.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as you alluded to, tight end is loaded on this slate. I mean, when you have a scroll EF down of Evan Ingram, who was like a jump off the page, like highest projected tight end on the slate last week, it's like, holy shit, like this is loaded. I like Bindle's call here. I really like the McBride flag pant. Yet again, I'm going back to the well after getting absolutely murdered last week on that one. But that is probably my favorite game environment on the slate there, Nez. We can kind of go game by game and jump around a little bit here. RIP Fantasy Life Game Hub, our favorite spot to jump around and showcase these. So back to the OG site here. But some of your favorite game environments that are popping for you. I think the obvious ones obviously will be like Lions Bucks. It'll be Chiefs Bengals if Bengals can hold up. Potential like late afternoon hammer there, and then Rams Cards. Those would kind of be like the three that I'm circling thus far. Do you agree with that? Are there some other ones? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, you definitely hit the nail on the head, right? Like Rams Cards for one, like right off the top feels like really exciting. James Conner, we already talked about Kyron Williams, but James Conner for me is like a huge target in dog bowls. For me in this matchup, got a ton of usage um, last week
Mm-hmm.
against the Bills. Really excited to go back to him this week. John, I was gonna say, Fantasy Life, they got rid of like the game hub,
Yeah.
but they do have like a gambling hub. And granted, we are here for fantasy sports. It does give you like totals and lines. If you want me to share that,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty
Share it in the
decent.
yeah, share it in the private chat if we can get that one up there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's behind the paywall, but I did pay for their premium stuff.
Oh, look at
Um,
you.
I know. I
How
want to look at
rich
the
this
utilization.
Yes, this guy's got a kid. This how much money he's been winning the last 3 weeks here. When he wanted hugs for Nez yesterday. He wanted hugs yesterday. He's got a house. He's got a kid on the way. He's paying for premium paywall content. Look at this guy, man. How rich, Nez.
Man, we got we got we
You're
got
gonna
an
be on
we have
vacation
an
tomorrow.
we have an S corp in the Nez household, so this is a write off, baby.
That's funny. I really
You
respect
know, you
that.
know.
Yes, absolutely. S corp's not a thing in Canada. Yeah, it's I'll okay, we'll do that next show. I got you. Okay, I got it next show. All right. Um yeah, dude. Okay, let's go game by game and pick out some of our favorite plays and that sort of thing. I do like the James Conner shout there. He was basically every single touch on that first drive was like designed for James Conner. It was kind of shocking that Trey Benson played less snaps and had less targets than DiMaccardo. Like he was the guy that they used in like the third down sets and stuff.
Mhm.
Just a little kind of eye opening for some of the best ball bags there, but it's early. Okay, let's start at the top here. We got a sneaky Saints team that blew the doors off the Panthers. There, they used some of the most. I think Hayden had a chart that came out earlier today or yesterday, and they used some of the most motion, like all that pre-snap motion that we love from McVay, McDaniels, Kyle Shanahan. That this is what the Saints implemented, and I so far in the dog bowl, man, I have Chris Olave on every single team because relative to his talent and relative to his route participation and relative to the amount of points they scored last week and his lack of involvement, he was on my like short list of generational wealth opportunity guys that I think will climb when the projections come out. So he's kind of my favorite target thus far in this game. Just thoughts on the game environment, thoughts on the plays here, Nez.
Yeah, this is kind of a tough one for me
Mm-hmm.
personally. Olave, I mean, I'm definitely not reading too much into really anybody's week one, to be honest, if I can help myself. Olave, especially because I'm an Olave respecter. A ton of Olave slander out there. I mean, they won by 1,000,000 points, right? Like, who
Right.
cares that Olave had 2 targets?
Mm-hmm.
It clearly, like, we have so much of a sample of the past 2 seasons of Olave being good. I know that our audience is, smart and knows this, but like only 2 targets for Olave, that's going to make him an extremely attractive buy against the Cowboys, who were just simply not tested at all on the other side by the Browns. I mean, Deshaun Watson, holy shit, man!
Hey,
What a joke! What a joke!
I'll defend Deshaun Watson on one throw. The dude, he made a sick throw that should have been a 40-yard touchdown to Amari Cooper as he was getting hit, and it went right through Amari Cooper's hands. That was a nasty throw. That was the only good highlight from that game, though.
I'll defend Deshaun Watson, John, 2024.
Well, not
You said, clip
you
it.
took it
Clip
out of
it. You
context.
said it.
You took it out of
You said it.
context.
I'll defend Deshaun Watson. You said the words, John.
Actually, while you talk about the Browns for a minute, Jerome Ford's usage was really encouraging. He scored an absolute garbage time touchdown at the tail end of that game. We'll get to the Browns, but his usage was really out of context. This is good. But his usage was just really encouraging, like 70 something percent of snaps there. We got the split backfield from the Zeke versus Rico there. I mean, you could probably play either in the 12 mans at the like tail end of drafts there, but I probably won't this week. Zeke, you're basically just banking on like exactly what he did last week, 12 carries, 40 yards and a score. And he's kind of like, he seems like a floor play unless he falls into the end zone twice, and he can't really separate unless it's in the 12 mans.
No, yeah, I agree. But I mean, just on Zeke in general, I didn't think Zeke looked bad on like the carries that I did see of his. But this game to me just doesn't profile as a shootout. Like, I kind of have respect for the Saints defense until proven otherwise. But the Cowboys defense, I am definitely like, I'm not so sure that they are good. Uh,
Mhm.
Last week, looking at some of the utilization stuff, 50% of snaps for Zeke, 45% of snaps for Rico. 9 rush attempts for Zeke, 8 for Rico. They ran the same amount of routes. So it's pretty much like a dead even split so far. I didn't see anything that like made me think, oh, Rico's coming, but I don't know. We'll
Yep.
see.
Yeah, fair enough. Would you consider Derek Carr backstacks in the dog bowl?
I don't. So I guess so because QB gets thin in a hurry,
Mhm.
and you could probably do it with like a Jawan with one of Shahid or Olave.
Yeah, if you want to double stack it.
Yeah, I'm
I
excited
just
to
did it
play
with.
a Camara this week though.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, he looked pretty good last week, man. And
He
if you're gonna
did.
play, yeah,
And
I mean,
in a fun stat too is
mhm.
he only played 48% of snaps
Wow.
because he didn't have to play the other
Yep.
percentage of snaps. So seeing him, in a competitive game, not he had a great game, but could be beneficial for his outlook.
Mhm.
He's really cheap.
Yep. Next game is kind of like a circle of calendar one. The ADPs are really pushed up. Jameer Gibbs goes every single draft. Mike Evans, after the 2 touchdown performance, goes every single draft there. All three of the Bucks wide receivers scored, all three, as in the big dogs, scored a touchdown last week there. Bucky Irving had some interesting and encouraging usage, but Rashad White was still the Rashad White role, and 2 minute drills, yada, 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 was all him. The Bucky Irving stuff came a little bit later when like the game was kind of like out of reach and stuff. But he did look nice. Just future thing. But I like Rashad White this week. I like basically every piece of this game environment. It's going to be really hard to pinpoint between David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs, that sort of thing. But I think Jameson Williams' ADP is probably too low right now, and Amon-Ra St. Brown's is a little too high for my liking right now. I like Justin Jefferson behind him more. I like Deebo Samuel behind him more, assuming Christian McCaffrey's out. That's kind of macro thoughts here.
Yeah, we'll get to Debo and like the best plays on the slate, but Debo's another one that's just criminally mispriced right
Yeah.
now. But for this game, super pumped about this game. Obviously, 51.5 total. Who wouldn't be? I don't know about you, John, but I think that they're going to end up giving the Bucks less points by the time we get to Sunday. I think 7 is a hefty spread that I just don't think will hold. So interested to see how that changes. I think from the standpoint of like which Lions running back, like you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously Gibbs is the sexier pick, but I think this is a better Gibbs matchup as well. I think the line for the Bucks could cause some trouble for Montgomery
Yeah.
for like his type of style. For the Bucks though, I like all these Bucks receivers though. I mean, this is one of my favorite games to target. I'm doing a lot of like game stacking here in the 12 mans.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Any love for Jalen McMillan in the dog bowl there? I mean, he had a pretty significant role. He played the most snaps out of all the wide receivers in week one.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely do it. It's not a play that I'm going to get to this week,
Okay.
but you can. I'm not going to fault you for it. I mean, I almost got home with Alec Pierce, so
Yeah, damn straight you did. This is gonna be a very interesting game here with the Packers. Jordan Love gonna miss a couple weeks here, but not placed on IR, which is kind of bullish in general. I kind of have like a no-fly zone on the Packers in general this week. Maybe I'll mix in a little bit of Josh Jacobs, but I don't see it, man. I've seen like people were excited about Malik Willis like when he came out, and like smaller school guy lit it on fire. Could this guy be like a super athlete at the next level? I, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to ape into it this week. He's going to be 0% owned all over the place, but I think I'll be steering clear of the Packers. And then on the other side of the ball, I think I'll be pushing almost everyone on the Colts down a little bit. Jonathan Taylor's ceiling is in big question for me with Anthony Richardson's ability to run.
definitely a big time question mark. Anthony Richardson looked, I mean, like he didn't even play that well if you were looking on paper,
Right.
but he's just a freak, dude. And like for fantasy, and I think for real life, despite the inefficiencies, is awesome. So I love Anthony Richardson and dog bowls this week. The
Will you run them naked in the dog bowls?
I'm gonna stack them.
Okay, you are gonna stack them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Pittman, had a good role last week. I don't
Mhm.
think I'll try to strike lightning twice with Alec Pierce. I think I'll probably do the AD Mitchell thing instead
Yeah.
because I think he might be lower owned this week.
He
For
just
good,
missed on a touchdown too. AD
like two
Mitchell
of them, I
there.
believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So very much into stacking Richardson really cheaply. Um, on the Packers side of things, I totally agree. Right, like Malik Willis has not shown us anything at the NFL level that makes us confident.
Mhm.
But I really trust Matt LaFleur. I really trust this offense around Malik Willis. I
Yeah.
think given a week to attack the Indianapolis Colts, who I don't think have a special defense by any stretch,
Mhm.
we should not be overlooking some of these weapons on the Packers just because of the fact that Jordan Love is out of the game.
Okay, I got a super fun one here. 6th round dog bull quarterback. You can run them naked or single stacked. Like, let's just say the rest of the draft does not matter. Justin Fields, Malik Willis this week.
I mean, Justin Fields.
All right. I mean, they have the
I'm not
lowest
saying to
total on
take
the
Malik
slate. Like, it's
Willis.
like, right, sure. Okay. I just,
I'm
yeah, I guess he does introduce like some fun ceiling potential and some fun like outlying variants, right?
my point is that they have a decent run scheme with like Josh, with just like in general on this offense, and Jaden Reed
Mhm.
is an extremely dynamic player. If like I think Malik Willis could hit Christian Watson on a wide open 9 route if that existed.
Yeah.
In this, maybe that even that's putting too much confidence in Malik Willis. I just think that they can scheme enough that like, hey, like here's your read, Malik, or and like hit this guy. If this isn't open, like call it. It's probably going to be rough sledding for him. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I just think like let's not completely X out this game given the coaching staff and it's at home against what I deem to be not special defense.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. Yeah. I mean, we were talking early last week that like attacking that Colts secondary based on some of the stuff that Hayden had to say felt good. Panthers got absolutely slaughtered by the Saints last week. I'm getting excited about these Chargers, man. J.K. Dobbins looked actually good. 10 carries for like 135 and a score. Like he actually looked like fast again.
I know.
Lad McConkey made a nice move in the red zone there to score a touchdown. Dude, I played some Herbert last week, especially in the dog bowls. Give me those Herbert back stacks again here. Maybe not double stack it, but if I can skinny stack Herbert with my last 2 picks, I think it's probably my favorite back stack of the week.
John, I love it. I've done that numerous times in the dog bowls.
Yeah.
I've done it with Palmer and I've done it with Lad this week.
Like it.
Yeah, definitely into that. I don't know that we're going to get the volume for Herbert, but this is sort of a weaker QB slate in my opinion. I mean, it's top heavy. Herbert goes super cheap. These pass catchers go super cheap. McConkey had a really nice role in week 1. The Panthers, it's going to be a rough. I mean, it's week 1, dude, but like that was a team that really needed to show us something in
Dude,
week 1, right? Like they needed to show us something.
I got a thesis here. Canales has to stop whispering and start shouting. How about that?
Like on the sideline or in press conferences? When
No,
and where?
I just mean because he's the quarterback whisperer.
Oh,
He's
he needs to be
gotta become the quarterback shouter with fucking Bryce Young, dude. Yeah, I'm not touching anything on the Panthers side. I mean, maybe you could twist my arm into Deontay Johnson if you got super boxed out in the 12 mans with your last pick there. I played some DeAndre Hopkins last week, which aged terribly. He only ran 9 routes. I'm skipping ahead to the Titans one, but just like this week to go back to like Hopkins versus like Deontay Johnson kind of thing in the last round of a dog bowl, I think I would lean Deontay Johnson despite what we saw last week.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson was
Okay.
open all day.
Okay.
So yeah, I totally agree. He is the only thing going for them.
All right. Jets and Titans here. We saw the return of Aaron Rodgers there. Norris had a hilarious tweet with his next gen passing chart today where he had the eye patch on him because basically he just had tunnel vision for the left side of the field over and over and over again. It looked really nice on the first couple drives there for Garrett Wilson. They had like a 12 play, 75-yard drive that then Breece Hall punched in. Dude, it looks super concentrated. and it looks like they have two very attractive fantasy pieces is really what we wanted. And if those two touchdowns, if one of them is Rodgers at the end of the game instead of Tyrod, and they just go to Garrett Wilson instead of Lazard, maybe we're singing a different tune this week, because this looks like a decent bounce back spot, does it not?
So I don't know that I would agree with this spot being a good bounce back, but I'm not out
Okay.
on the Jets at all. At
Okay.
all. I'm very much in on the Jets still, despite I think they have terrible coaching, but like, man, that back shoulder throw to Garrett Wilson, just absolutely just like where it had to be on that first drive, got me super psyched. Brees Hall looks good, no concerns about Brees Hall from me. So I think this Titans team could be a problem defensively. Like I'm still really in on the Bears, and they absolutely destroyed the Bears on defense. Or yeah, defensively, the Titans did.
Yeah.
So I'm not like in love with the spot as bounce back, but what I am in love with is what we saw from Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson as far as their roles go in the offense. Like you said, that's really what we care about, is like finding guys like those are the type of guys that in spots like I'm saying that don't feel good can still smash because they are alphas.
Yeah. Yep, I like it, dude. I'll give you while we're talking Titans, the Bears are on the primetime Palooza slate. They're the Sunday night game there. I'll give you directionally accurate on Keenan Allen, 11 targets.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
He got schemed up more than DJ Moore, which was not in the plans. That was not part of the thesis.
Blake, we're trying to forget, man. We're trying to forget. Please no.
There's back end shots. All right, let's at least give him the end.
The back end shots. Ravens and Raiders. Lamar's got a really high ADP. The Andrews versus Likely debate is going to be ongoing all week there. Derrick Henry, man, played less snaps than Justice Hill. It was largely game script dependent, I think.
Yeah,
dude, like the Justice Hill, I saw someone smart had a nice targets and utilization kind of breakdown on Justice Hill, man. The role was no joke. When we were watching that game on Thursday night, it was like, man, why this guy just keeps catching the ball over and over again. He had 6 receptions for like 40 some odd yards there. I think Derrick Henry is going to be a sneaky bounce back, positive game script candidate here that's going to go a little bit overlooked comparative to last week because of the usage. I think I want to play this game more through Derrick Henry than I want to play it through the pass attack and trying to guess on who the pass catcher with Lamar is going to be. I don't think he's going to have to run for his life or have as many design runs as he did last week to take care of the Raiders. This just feels like, heavy spread game, heavy favorites, at home opener, like that sort of deal that you just go, yeah, let's feed Derrick Henry and he finds the end zone 3 times.
Yep, I definitely agree with you on that. I mean, it's hard not to see what J.K. Dobbins did last week and just, copy and paste Derrick Henry in that same game environment with probably a better offense.
And probably 10 more touches.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is definitely a Derrick Henry smash spot. I mean, not like it's a problem, but I guess the problem is like this slate is loaded with like perceived really strong running back targets in drafts. Derrick Henry is just one of them. And right now he goes in like a really sweet spot at like pick 14 in ADP. Regardless, a really good pick in my opinion this week against the Raiders. Almost 10-point favorites, as they should be, right? I mean, talk about a team that needed to show us something as well. The Raiders just did not show us enough creativity at all last week. I mean, did not target. Like Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers are 2 good wide receivers, just acted like they did not exist last week. Not that like Brock Bowers like shouldn't get his because he did get his and he looked good, but like you got to get Devontae and Jacoby more involved, right?
Yeah, I mean, Devontae Adams only 6 targets, Jacoby Myers 3 targets, Trey Tucker 3 targets, might be a little sneaky this week. Alexander Madison was used primarily as the pass catching back and had 6 targets. He scored on kind of like a wheel route or whatever it was that, yeah, anyways, the speed, I think the bullish takeaways for the Raiders was like the speed was a little bit better than I thought, like tempo wise, and their pass rate over expectation was a little bit better than I thought. So those are kind of like 2 things to hang your hat on, I guess, where it could be like bullish in the future here. But yeah, this doesn't really feel like the spot. I mean, Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers as run back potentials off some of your Ravens stuff. Other than that, like I just don't really want to target the Raiders side of the ball here.
No, no, not at all. The Ravens defense is definitely no joke, despite the Chiefs looking really solid.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, we got Seahawks, Patriots. Patriots with the upset of the week last week versus the Bengals looked pretty decent, and then controlled the ball with Ramondre Stevenson on the ground on one side, and then looked pretty good on the defensive side of the ball there. Geno had one bad interception to start the game for the Seahawks, but they pulled off a win as well. There, Zach Charbonnet on a very similar looking play to Alexander Madison there, but Ken Walker now has the P tag. He had a Q tag. Now he has the P tag. Um, yeah, I don't have anything else here other than like DK Metcalf got the Sertan treatment last weekend. And Tyler Lockett out targeted both him and JSN here. Are we going to some Geno stuff? Are we liking some of the Seahawks stuff here? Is this kind of like a shy away game for you?
This is definitely not one that I'm like excited to get any piece of, other than I think a late round Ken Walker, because Ken Walker had a pretty nice role, looked awesome, and we just saw the Patriots win against the Bengals, so they are getting a little bit of respect here as 3.5 point favorites. But like, man, I think the Seahawks are going to take care of business, and because of that, I think Ken Walker. I would probably put this game as more like a 6 point spread, and that would make Ken Walker a really attractive target against the Patriots, who do have a strong defense, right? I mean, like that's definitely the truth. But if game script is on the Seahawks side here, then Ken Walker should have plenty of touches. And to me, just he goes really late right now, probably because of the probable tag. Maybe respect for the Patriots after the Bengals upset, but I like Ken Walker late in 12 mans.
Yeah, I like it too, man. Mr. TD alluding to the fact that he's banged up there. Yeah, he had a Q tag. It was a abdominal thing, I believe is what it was.
Yep.
Yeah. And then now it's switched to a probable tag. We'll see the practice reports this week and stuff like that. But his price tag's way too cheap for the spot as of right now. 66% of snaps last week. Charbonnet scored the touchdown, as I alluded to, but Ken Walker got one of his own there. And then the red zone attempts, man, they didn't target a wide receiver in the red zone this week, whether that is game plan specific or whatnot. That Noah Fant had one target, and then the other 4 opportunities in the red zone all went to Ken Walker. So that's kind of just bullish for like high value touches.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Charb's run mostly came when Ken Walker was hurt. So yeah, we should feel really confident about his role.
Yeah. Giants Commanders has all the makings of a beautiful Thursday night football slop fest, but we get it on the main slate here with a decent total, man. This could be fun. This could be the two athletic mobile quarterbacks just trying to ball out versus one another, playing some Jameis Winston YOLO fucking 303 style football back and forth, or both teams could just be terrible and this shit falls on its face, man. I like this as like the sneaky underpriced shootout of the week right now. I like doing, Jaden Daniels ADP is pushed up to quarterback 4, but like I like doing like a little bit of Brian Robinson. Role was like quite encouraging despite splitting snaps basically down the middle with Eckler. I like doing a little bit of Singletary bounce back there, some Neighbors bounce back. He had 9 targets. I mean, I like to target this game thus far. I'm getting excited as this is like our shitty shootout of the week.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones is mobile. I don't know that he's an athlete, but he is definitely mobile.
Okay.
He was also like hilariously bad as well. Just like extremely off target, which is like really, really frustrating. But I mean, this is a bounce back of all bounce back spots like we started off with. So really like doing dimes with Neighbors this week for sure. Probably no Singletary for me, despite the role. And then on the Commanders, man, I think, Daniels, B-Rob, and McLaurin this week for sure. And shit, man, in 12 mans, I'll stack Daniels with Ertz. Like, no problem.
I did it in my second dog bowl. I did Ertz and Daniels. I was like, let's fucking run this shit back, baby.
I'm going to take the dub. Like, I'm not going to victory lap a Zach Ertz roll in week 1, but I will take the dub on him. Like, people like pissing people off on him having a bigger role than people think.
Dude, he played. Cliff Kingsbury loves him. He played the most snaps of any player on their team other than Terry McLaurin on offense. He played 71% of snaps, dude. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
he's not going anywhere.
right.
It's like, who is the wide receiver 2 for the Commanders? Is it Luke? Is it Diami? Does it matter? Like,
Right. Yeah, does it matter is the evergreen question. Does it matter?
yeah, Luke McCaffrey was the wide receiver 2 in by routes run.
Yeah.
So something to keep an eye on. I mean, the 3 targets for -2 air yards. So not what you want. So we'll pay attention to see if that role changes.
Yeah. It's a lazy comp because they played for the same team and all this sort of stuff. Like Jaden Daniels has all the makings of like rookie season RG3, where it was just like you just play this guy naked and just hope for the best.
Yeah, the chat also, by the way, while we're still before we move on to this game, we do need to give Wandale some respect.
Yeah, okay.
He 11 targets
Yep.
last week, 58 air yards. Genuinely like a pretty nice role.
Dude, that's hat tip to the spreadsheet socialists and the virgins because they never moved on him at ETR all off season in those best ball ranks. When we were fucking around and scrolling down in round 15 or whatever, every time I looked at my queue, he was right at the top every single time at like pick 148. He was just sitting there staring me in the face, and I just was like, man, I'll click this like sometimes, but nah. And yeah, man, that's great.
I pass on Wandale quite a bit, and I still
Yeah.
think it's fine, but
Yeah.
like against the command, I mean, like, sure.
This is a good point though, because he is like PPR merchant comparative to the scoring system on our site.
Yeah, but he's playing the Commanders.
Right. Sure.
So
yeah,
he does need to be mentioned on our program.
the Battle of Daniels. That's
a good one. That's a good one.
Analytics, baby. Analytics. Okay. Next game, dude. Jaguars had no business losing that football game to Miami in the way in which they did. Travis Etienne had a ball that he fumbled through the back of the end zone there. Would have been a second touchdown for him. His price tags plummeted because everybody is noting the fact that Tank Bigsby looked better than him. But I don't know, man. If Travis Etienne gets in the end zone for that second one, maybe his ADP is pushed up a little bit this week comparatively. I don't know. I thought it was a really encouraging debut for Brian Thomas. Yeah, I don't know if you really want to target this Browns defense, but up-tempo Cowboys team that looks less talented outside of CeeDee Lamb on paper comparative to Jacksonville kind of feels like if they can get after it for 33 points, why can't the Jags at home this week? That's kind of just my instant knee-jerk reaction to this. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, Tank had a really nice debut. I would definitely caution against RB2s that we are more excited about because they're younger or maybe have cooler names. Because whenever they are on the field, they are seeing different defensive looks and they have a lot more room to run a lot of the time because they are the RB2. So they don't get quite as much respect, but definitely something to monitor because, I mean, right away, he had a pretty significant role that we just did not see at the end of last season. So,
right.
I
can't. Sorry, I was fumbling over my words there and trying to cut you off. But the Tank Bigsby was interesting because it did look like they had stuff like strictly like packages that they wanted to utilize them in, and it wasn't a result of the fumble. Someone smarter than me pointed that out on something I was listening to earlier, where they had carries in their own end, and they trusted Tank with them over ETN. Now, that doesn't really score us fantasy points. We want the high value touches on the other end of the field. So we'll wait and see what happens with those. That was primarily ETN. But I just thought it was interesting from like a ball security standpoint that they liked Tank closer to their own like goal line kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that definitely definitely something to monitor. But like inside the 5 though, it was all ET. I mean, they only had one attempt inside the 5, so
yeah. And that was the one that he fumbled through the back of the end zone.
Okay, I was looking at some numbers, sorry.
All right, we got 4 more games on this slate here. Niners and Vikings. This will be very interesting with Christian McCaffrey, the Q tag. I've seen him slide as far as like 15 in battle royales. I've seen him fall as far as 20 something in the dog bowls there. Generational wealth opportunity right there if he plays. Granted, I don't think the comments are overly bullish on him playing. And I don't
Only
know,
God
man.
knows, John. Only God knows.
Yeah, man. I don't know. This is a very tough debate because taking Jordan Mason right now in like the 4th and 5th round feels like super sharp. It feels like you're going to encapsulate all this CLV and you're not going to get a swap for CMC to Jordan Mason, especially in the 12 teamers. Maybe sometimes in the 6, you could find your way to that swap in the future here. But it's a very delicate balance because if you take Jordan Mason and CMC plays, you just get a 0. Right. So, I mean, maybe not a flat 0, but, how many touches is Jordan Mason going to get if CMC plays? Like 5 to 8 kind of thing. And that's not going to win you a tournament on our site. So, how are you handling that backfield? And then thoughts on the Vikings after Sam Darnold revenge game here?
Yeah, I think going into drafts right now, you really need to like tell yourself, are you in or out on CMC?
Yep.
Because if you're in, then you need to pounce. And if you're out, then you need to keep an eye on Jordan Mason and who's in your room. Because if you're in dog bowls, Jordan Mason's going in the 3rd round. So just understand if you want him, then you need to get him before, a badge, takes him in the 3rd round. I really like this matchup. Go ahead.
No, I was saying we get a DNP for Christian McCaffrey for first practice of the week. Projection models come out like, Wednesday night or whatever, and they get tinkered and this sort of thing across all the sites here. Where does Jordan Mason project amongst all of the running backs? Which running back would he just project as?
If CMC, if projections are
no hedge, let's just treat CMC as out. He gets a DNP and he's trending towards, potentially not playing. There's some bearish coach speak stuff. If you just projected Jordan Mason right now, he is RB what on this slate?
4.
Behind Derrick Henry?
Ahead.
Ahead of Kyron Williams?
No.
Ahead of Jonathan Taylor?
Not by projections, but by me.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you would take who over Jordan Mason?
Well, I mean, it's tough because we're playing like a market-based game here, but like
Right.
Breece Hall, Pacheco, Kyron, Connor, probably end of the list.
Nice. Yeah, I tend to agree with you, man. I do tend to agree with you. I think I would take. I think I would take him. I bet you when the projections come out, man, like Kyron's RB1, is he not?
Yeah.
Kyron?
Yeah.
I would take
91% of snaps.
Yeah, no. Did you see the McVay quote after? He's like, "Oops, didn't mean to do that," or whatever. When they told him about like limiting his workload, dude. I think there's a case to be made that like out of this Rams Cardinals game, that relative to their position, there's like 4 or 5 guys that project at or near the top of their position. Like Cooper Kupp as like WR1, Kyron as RB1, Connor as a top 5 running back, Trey McBride as like tight end 1.
Yeah. This is a very, very, very fun game.
Okay. Sorry, let's close the book on Niners and Vikings. We're getting so excited about this next matchup here. The Sam Darnold had, 13 straight completions or whatever. He did exactly what we wanted from the KOC offense, just was the distributor. Yeah, I really like Justin Jefferson. I'm taking him over, the Amon-Ra. He's currently behind Amon-Ra. I'm taking him over that. I was taking him over Breece Hall as well. I think if I could pinpoint my guys at the front end of draft boards right now, Cooper Kupp, Kyron, Justin Jefferson, Debo, like that's kind of like my upper echelon of targets that I'm, kind of pushing up right now.
Yep. Debo too cheap. in drafts right now, just entirely too cheap. I know we're just kind of looking at this from like a a bird's eye view, not looking at ADP, but Debo being wide receiver 9 is a joke. That's absurd. From the Vikings side, though, I think like everyone knows that the Niners are good plays this week. The Vikings side of things, I am really excited to draft Vikings.
Okay.
There's We saw on primetime the Niners beat up the Jets. That was the Jets' first full game with Aaron Rodgers. With I think poor coaching.
Mhm.
So anytime you get a defense showing out against like what people perceive to be a good team on prime time, they get like a really strong bump in drafts.
Yeah.
And I think the Niners defense is a little overrated. We kind of saw it last year in the postseason that teams were able to score on them with little, not ease, but like they were not just this monster defense that we're used to seeing from the 49ers. So I'm really excited to see the Vikings come in and try to go toe to toe with this offense in a dome. Not that weather is really too much of a concern at this stage of the season, but like you said, love Jefferson. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about Jordan Addison. Probably just like not take him, but that could be like a bit of a
He's got
problem.
Yeah, he's got Q tag right now.
Yeah, so that could be a problem. But like Aaron Jones and Jefferson, I think are going to have obviously very strong roles in this matchup here. So I do like the Vikings' ability to kind of move the ball because I trust their coaching and I trust this offense.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. This could be like a I don't know. Niners defense might be good. Like we might be
For
discrediting.
sure. For
Um,
sure. I mean, it's I mean, they've got
but
all pros.
right. Yes.
I get that, but
Yeah.
like I just think that the perception doesn't match the reality.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I think like you can paint a narrative too of like a nice trailing script with the Jefferson stuff. Like if Jordan Mason and Debo find success on the ground early and they both score a touchdown or something like that, and you got a KOC offense at home chasing points, like that's a position I want to have in my tournament winning lineups.
Agreed.
Um, all right, Rams Cardinals. We've kind of talked around it as our favorite kind of game on the slate right now. No surprise to most people. I think it's underpriced on the site. Cooper Cup, man, like it's just nuts what this guy does. Um, I don't know, man. Like the expected fantasy points for like the wide receivers. Hayden had a chart earlier for the Rams from last week. Granted, it was trailing script. Granted, whatever. Like you can poke holes in it all you want, but like dude, it's just nuts the connection that the Breakfast Club has there. And I'm aping back in this week. I mean, he was 14, 110, and 1. He also had 2 carries mixed in there. Like, are we just gonna get like 17 target Cooper Cup every single week that Puka is out now?
Yeah, I don't know how we don't, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see a Blake Corum snap this week. Who knows? Time will certainly tell.
Yeah.
This game, it stands out like a sore thumb at how awesome this matchup is. So Cooper Cup definitely in contention with the 101. I don't know that he's my 101, but certainly in
Okay.
contention. Uh Kyron, I mean, no pushback from me if he's anybody's RB1 on this slate. But yeah, one of the question marks is like, can we see a better performance out of Trey McBride, and can we see more usage from Marvin Harrison? I mean,
Mhm.
holy shit!
Yeah.
Talk about just a flat performance for your debut. Doesn't get much worse than that.
He was
So
wide open for a touchdown, and Kyler just didn't even look at him.
yeah,
He was wide open, like 35-yard touchdown, and Kyler didn't even. I mean, Kyler's so small, he can't see, man. He honestly can't see over there, man. Trey McGronk was open for a touchdown too on like a quick little hitch route when Kyler scrambled right, and he pump faked it for like no reason. I was sweating that game obviously because those two were kind of like my highest own. Like I was really bullish and really encouraged with the Cardinals offense after the first drive and a half when they were winning that game, and then the wheels just fell off, man.
yeah, I mean, Greg Dortch second in targets, Trey McBride first in targets. I can't imagine that the recipe is going to continue to be get Greg Dortch the ball by any means. I'm sure they're going to try to find ways to get Marvin Harrison the ball in this game, but I mean, how's Marvin Harrison? Would you draft him in six mans?
Yeah, I think so for like the leverage purpose, just because we love this game so much. Um, yeah, I mean, like I would definitely just. I'm not gonna get like crazy overexposed to it, but like in lineups that I take Kyron and Cup and play the other side of that game for sure. Yeah, I will
Yeah,
definitely be
he's
taking
one
him.
of the last wide receivers off the board in 6-mans. If
Yeah,
you do take him,
yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, this was the thesis with the early stuff in weekly winners was why I did so much Cup and why I did so much Arizona stuff. Is like, man, listen to this, how fun the start of this season could be for the Rams. Like, you get that at Detroit, then we get at Arizona. That San Francisco game could be fun. At Chicago could be fun as long as there's no weather concerns. And then Green Bay at home. Then they're bye. And then they get Vegas, Minnesota, Seattle. Like, man, this
yeah,
team could just be so much fucking fun. And now it's densely concentrated where we don't have to play whack a mole over and over again with is it a Puka week? Is it a Cup week?
yeah, right.
Yeah. Just, so fun, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna be targeting them like for the entire season, damn near.
Right. And Arizona, we're going to be playing the shit out of them the next 2 weeks too, because they get Detroit next week. Then they get the Washington matchup after that. Then they get at San Francisco, and then they get at Green Bay, and then the Chargers. Like it's just like the front end of these that's set up
Yeah.
so well for weekly winners for these teams, man. It was, I don't know.
So
I thought the
what we
thesis was
really
strong,
need,
man.
yeah,
Yeah.
what we really need is this game to like underperform, and then when the Cardinals play the Commanders, then we can really ape in on
Mhm.
Marv and Kyler and cash out.
Yeah, there you go. Easy's bringing up a good point here that the Cards are in a much better spot this week than last, and they're all cheaper. I really like that. I really agree with that point. All right, Nez, your beloved Steelers, who showed that TJ Watt is probably the best defensive player in all of football, as we talked about last week. We were respectors. We did not have very much Bijan last week. I basically full faded because of I'm a respector of the Steelers here. I'm basically going to play no Broncos this week, and I'm going to do a little bit of Justin Fields and Najee Harris. Man, Najee Harris's role was so effing encouraging. But the Steelers might just play this super boring ball control, let our defense win brand of football that is going to be good for keeping Mike Tomlinson's role intact for winning seasons over the course of his career, but bad for us in fantasy. I hope, I pray to the fantasy gods, Nez, that the Broncos somehow find their way into like a special teams touchdown and that we get a trailing script for the Steelers here, because I want to see Justin Fields at least try to run wild.
Yeah, I'm glad you got your name quota in today
What?
with
Who'd I
Mike
say?
Tomlinson.
Oh fuck! Damn it!
had to reach the quota. Man, this game does not look great. But we did see Ken Walker run all over this defense,
Mhm.
and I mean, it took us until like late to mid to late August to kind of realize like, oh man, we are over. I think we might be overdrafting Jalen Warren, but fuck me, man. This is gonna be really annoying. This is gonna be really annoying. But
This,
yeah, I mean, this is shaping up to be a Najee game.
I know you're a Steelers guy, but who had more touches last week, Jalen Warren or Cordell Patterson?
Come on, dude.
It was same. They both touched the ball 4 times. Like that's crazy, man. Like,
Well, they did touch the ball 4 times. Cordell Patterson actually got two more rushing attempts. Jalen
yeah,
Warren did play 29% of snaps compared to Najee's 58. But I think the cope that the real cope, not just like fake cope, is like Warren had the hamstring injury,
right.
and
Yeah,
why would they rush him back?
and
So
Russ is better for Warren too, because like they'll implement some dump off, some screen stuff, some third down set stuff with him, whereas like Fields just kind of takes off, right?
exactly. But it's Justin Fields week, man.
Okay.
They are preparing for him to be the starter once again.
Yeah.
They're gonna let Russ try to practice Thursday.
Mhm.
Listen, man, I have the Justin Fields bit going on because I genuinely love Justin Fields. I do think that he's an underrated quarterback in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
I had the joking conspiracy. I really do think they're trying to let Russ down easy, that like they don't want to start him.
Yeah.
I so think so. Justin Fields last week by PFF grades was like a top third quarterback. Like they gave him a pretty solid rating as a quarterback. He made some pretty solid throws. The
Yeah.
offensive line, from a pass blocking perspective, did a good job against Matthew Judon and company from the Falcons. And Justin Fields ran, a decent amount, nothing crazy, but he ran what he had to get first downs. Steelers were like top in EPA per play last week. You
Mm,
wouldn't know it because Chris Boswell
no.
put up 1,000,000 points.
Right. Yeah, they only got to the red zone. Their first trip to the red zone was that very tail end of the game there where they kicked a field goal from like the 15-yard line or something. That was their first trip to the red zone. It was
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, man, like the Najee role was really encouraging. I'll be playing some Najee this week, like the 20 carries. Like he's just such an Arthur Smith dude. But as you alluded to, man, only 56% of the snaps there. Who led your team in wide receiver routes, dude?
Calvin Austin.
Van Jefferson, baby. Van
Yeah,
Jefferson.
that experiment is not going to last much longer. And he ran the same amount of routes as Pickens, to be
Oh,
fair.
it was the same amount? Okay, he played more snaps. It was 72% of the snaps comparative. He played 3 more snaps than him.
Yeah, Pickens was like off the field because he was, making some big plays. 98 air yards for George Pickens. You just simply love to see that.
This is a good kind of like callback to what Chad was saying yesterday on our show with the dog bowl stuff, that he really wanted to get over Fields and over some of those rushing quarterbacks at the tail end there. And this is a good reminder from Easy. It's like Fields outscored Dak, and Cowboys put up 33 points or whatever, not all on offense, right? A bunch of field goals and a special team score in there, but he outscored Dak with 0 touchdowns. So like just the floor ceiling combo that some of these rushing quarterbacks introduce when running them naked on these 16 builds, it plays so well in our contests.
Yeah, man. I think people are just going to continue to make fun of Justin Fields, and you know what? It's fine. You can they can be haters if they want. I just don't think I'm stepping off the soapbox. As I'm stepping down, since when have we trusted GM's abilities to evaluate QB talent? We have seen mismanagement of resources via draft capital, via trade. When it comes to quarterbacks, our entire lives, we still are not good at evaluating quarterbacks. GMs are not good at evaluating quarterbacks. There's a chance Justin Fields is just not as bad as everybody wants you to think, man.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir. He's my highest owned quarterback on all sites. So I mean,
yeah. So I'm just really excited for him to hopefully get a fair shot.
Yeah, the exposures are slapping right now. The Fields, Likely, and Cup right now. Ooh, baby. Zach Moss falling in the end zone. Exposure Bros week 1 slap job. Okay, last game on the slate could be the late hammer here. It's going to be so hard to pinpoint a Chiefs pass catcher on every given week, but basically with ADPs inside of the top like 20-ish, we have Kelsey, we have Worthy, we have Rice, and we have Pacheco, and we have Mahomes. So there's 5 guys from this game inside the top like 20-ish in ADPs. And Marquise Hollywood Brown has a Q tag, not completely writing off the potential of coming back this week. It's trending in the right direction, in quotations. We'll monitor the practice reports and stuff like this. I will never play Mahomes naked on our site, and I really don't know which pass catcher to pair him with. It feels a lot like the CJ Stroud stuff of last week, where I'm like, dude, I want to play this game environment. I want to play this quarterback stacked, but I have no idea how to do it. So I'm just going to go elsewhere. That's kind of like where I'm at right now with this. Like, I want to play Mahomes. I want to play some of these stacks. I want to play that afternoon game, because if we just looked at this game, take the Bengals performance from last week away, if we just like circled our calendars before the season for this game, like this would probably be a 53.5. Like it'd be a bit higher without the Bengals' most recent performance and T. Higgins injury like lingering. Like this would be the game of the week, would it not?
For sure. But yeah. I am Chiefs defense respector, especially at home.
Yep.
21.5 for the Bengals is just like unbelievably generous. No reason why they should be given 21.5 points, I think, in Arrowhead. Just because it's the Burrowhead stuff, maybe. I don't know. But Higgins, we still don't know if he's gonna play this week. Really like the Chiefs here, and I really like Pacheco as
Okay.
well, just because I think like the Chiefs are just going to mash on the Bengals, and that to me is Isaiah Pacheco's music.
Mhm.
If you were to rank the Mahomes pass catchers to stack with, I mean, would it just simply be Rice, Worthy, Kelsey for you?
I think I would put Kelsey over Worthy because he covers a onesie position.
Yeah,
Like just because of positional designation, I would take the Kelsey stack. But like, I don't know, man. They use Noah Gray a decent amount. Like, there's a non-zero chance that we talked about this a little bit last week, where it's like there's a non-zero chance that Kelsey's a little getting a little long in the tooth here and spending a little too much time with Taylor. And this is kind of like his semi-retirement Gronk swan song thing. And Rice is the guy who just usurps all that usage. So I don't know. Like I don't want to get overweight it at all. But I don't know. Like my feelings on this game are encapsulated so well by the chat right now, where it's like, one guy's like, yeah, it's a Kelsey week. The next guy's like, yeah, I just want the cheapest one. Then one's like, is Cincy gonna push them? And then Jump Free's like, Bengals D line's ass. It's Pacheco week. Like that kind of just like encapsulates all my feelings, where it's like I can't play all of these guys, especially on 6-person rosters. Like I don't want to force myself to get one right. I'll just pick players from, like, it's a pure game theory thing where I'll pick players from other games that I think can break the slate that are way more concentrated.
yeah, dude. I don't blame you at all. I think if I was going to do this, I think it would be Mahomes and Rice would probably be my answer to that. I think
Mm-hmm.
um, just because of the volume that we can project for Rice. Like
Yeah.
Worthy's game was sick, right? We love
Yeah.
touchdowns. Hard to bank on that. Him being uber efficient week over week. Granted, he's like the fastest player that we've ever seen,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a great debut. Hard not to just immediately take that to the bank and jam that in battle royales this week. Not my preference, but
Yeah. I
I
think
I,
this
I
is
would probably stack with Rice.
I think this is a really good take in the comments here from Easy here. Like the mid IQ is Worthy's better as a one off than on Mahomes teams. Like it does kind of feel like Debo Samuel. It does kind of feel like Jaden Reed, where like you need 1 and 1 from him, and one being the rushing one, and it's not always tethered to Mahomes. Like if you do the Mahomes stack, Mahomes Rice feels better, Mahomes Kelsey feels better, something like that.
I think that makes a lot of sense just because of the projectable targets.
Yeah. Bengals side of the ball there, backfield is going to be really hard to project, but it did look like Zach Moss was kind of like the lead usage guy comparatively. He was the one that got like the first reps and fell into the end zone. They're not the best spot in the world to try and attack these running backs. You already said that you think the Bengals team total is a little high there. I think Yoshivas not for our site, but he played 100% of snaps last week with T out, so it'd be very interesting to see how that usage goes if T happens to play this week. Jamar Chase, frothy ADP right now, but not nearly as frothy as if he had gone off last week.
Yeah, I just don't want any part of the Bengals, to be quite
All right.
honest. I didn't think Yoshivas I thought Yoshivas was such an obvious fade last week,
Mm-hmm.
personally. Going up against the
Well,
Patriots on on the other place where people can play. Just thought that was a generational fade. If everybody's going to be jamming him in, yeah, like no thank you. I just don't think he's very good. So no thanks for me on any Bengals.
yeah.
Am I willing to be wrong on that? No. I'm not even willing to be wrong on that. I'm going to be really mad if they come out and actually put up a good fight against the Chiefs. I just don't think that they can.
Yeah, I respect it, dude. I respect it. I mean, if they're gonna push them and if they're gonna push the Chase or push the Chiefs, I think it funnels through Chase. Like that's just like, Chase go Burr kind of thing. One game under his belt, he's back. He played vast majority of snaps last week despite missing all the stuff. I don't know. You could paint trailing script narratives for, Chase Brown or something like that, but I'll be playing Chase and that's it from the Bengals basically.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Um,
I'm not like no touch on Chase, but
mhm.
like agree. Like if they're gonna do it, it's gonna be Chase Alpha game.
Yeah, I like it. Nez, let's hop in the lobbies and rip some drafts here. Do you want to start with Dog Bowl or BR?
Let's do Dog Bowl.
All right, let's do it. I have done 3 of them thus far. 6 more spots in the DB, as the kids like to say.
DBQ, baby.
Yeah, the DBQ with the official sanctioned graphics, courtesy of Underdog Fantasy. The official sanctioned graphics. Hey,
Yeah.
you too could find your way
Get your
to
ass
this
in here.
Get your ass in this winner's circle.
Oh, I need back, man. There's nothing quite like the high of being in the solo layout with the winner circle graphic around you. The first time I felt that was that's a high I've been chasing ever since.
I cannot attest because I have never won anything ever. That's yes, you see, I've never
Okay.
I've never been afforded
Mr. Hoops guy over here. People don't forget. People don't forget.
Man, I wish I was Mr. Dinger guy. Hey, shout out to Sam Wilson again, giving us some love on the the Twitterverse for his big dinger takedown there, man. Evergreen, that he's one of the good ones, man. He's one of the good ones.
Yeah. Who we got in this lobby?
It looks like friends and family here. We got Jump Free hanging out. We got Nick in there. EDN3 is in all of these. Biff, I saw you become a member today. Thank you so much. We got Dark Sheep looking for another seat, this greedy bastard. Crash Rich, who's in every single one. Dude, Josh S. ZW, man, he's in everything. You got to put a little respect on that name. Sergeant Sweeney. Yeah, this is a who's room here.
Yeah, we've got one non-badge in Slaith.
Get ready to.
You think that's what it is? Slaith?
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Who knows?
He spelled slate wrong. Oh, dude, yeah. I was gonna throw out a tweet earlier, but I gotta share this with you right now. So Nikki plays this stupid word game, you know, where you like drag your finger on all the things and you make the words or whatever.
Yeah, it's good for your brain health, John. Yeah.
Okay. So she's playing last night and she's like, I can't figure out this last word. So she flashes the phone at me. She flashes it and I reactionary. I see this and I said Sam Olsen and laughed to myself. This is what she showed me.
Fuck me, dude. I would have said that exactly. That's right there. That's right there.
Dude, she sends it to me and she goes, what's the word? I go, Sam Olsen.
Holy shit, man. How is that not like yeah, like that's the litmus test for is your brain broken or not? Like,
I know.
Is your screen time over 8 hours a day on Underdog or not?
It was so funny, man. And there's Sam hanging out. That's amazing. Oh man, never log off, baby.
Never ever.
It was really funny, and I laughed to myself hysterically, and she has no idea what I'm talking about. And then I was just like, never mind. We get the Christian McCaffrey fall here, Nez. We could do the Mahomes and set it up with something else. I don't love it. Some of our favorite targets are already gone in Kyron. I would push up Debo here.
Yep. Yeah, this is where Debo is going to be going very soon.
Okay. Yeah, I tend to agree with you there, man. The usage was insanely encouraging. I mean, in a game where Jordan Mason still got 28 carries or whatever it ended up being, you know, he still gets 8 carries. You know, it's just the design stuff. Like, if Christian McCaffrey misses any more time, if they keep playing against some of these like zone defenses and stuff, like Debo's just such a weapon. My best ball stance hasn't really changed because we know these things. Like, we talked about this a lot where it was like isolated weak ceiling of Debo is going to be amazing. And that's something you want. His injury risk comparative to everything else is like how I said Shohei Ohtani is, because he's playing 2 positions. And that was what scared me from a portfolio standpoint. But wheels up for you right now with the Debo stuff. That Debo on the 112 looks so much better than some of the other picks that were available there. Nez, I would throw Derrick Henry out. Alluded to liking him earlier. I would throw Trey McGronk out as well. I don't really like the Mahomes stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't either. I do like I like Henry and I like Pacheco. So if you want to go Henry smash.
Tucker's pumping toys for Derrick Henry here. This guy, he's so jacked up. The last thing he knows is he has to go to the groomer.
He's got a groomer appointment coming? Yeah. Can he see out of his eyes, or is he?
Not really. It kind of goes like this. I chop them like that. Yeah.
He needs a headband.
Yeah, he does. He needs a headband. Nick saying that the official CMC stuff, according to Underdog, is day to day. So I don't know if that. Do you think that's bullish?
Did you ask if I think that's bullshit? Yes.
No, I was saying
I know.
bullish. But bullshit.
That is the most God damn it, Jordan Mason, shut the fuck up type of coach designation I've ever heard in my
So true.
life. He
I
was
just
not supposed to
remember.
say that, man. I've seen a lot of like, oh, he could have said that and CMC could have, no. That was an accident. He was not supposed to say that. Like, he was not supposed to say that.
No, absolutely not. He knew he stepped in it right after he said it. Wow, that a couple weeks ago, you wouldn't have thought like that EDN3 start right there, Jamar Chase plus Travis Kelce. You never would have thought that was like available start for
No.
that game environment like a week
Mm-mm.
and a half ago. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, that's a little GM there. Nez, I got to ask you the front end of draft boards here. It's gonna be a hot debate all week. CeeDee Lamb coming off of a clunker in quotations by his standards there, 66 yards or something of that magnitude.
10 targets.
10 targets. Yeah. Just, everything was there. He just didn't find the end zone and didn't score a bunch of fantasy points. CeeDee Lamb versus Cooper Kupp for the 101 this week. Which side of the fence do you think you'll land on?
I think Cooper Kupp, but at the beginning of the show, I was CeeDee Lamb.
Let's play a fictitious game here where Puka Nacua does not get injured last week, but we still get the exact same stat line. Maybe the targets and catches are a little bit down for Cooper Kupp, but let's say he goes like 9, 90, and 1 in that first ball game there. Puka Nacua goes, 5 for 60 and no score. Where do their ADPs fit in this dog bowl right now?
Probably like around like Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase and maybe 1-2 turn. You're saying in the hypothetical that Puka Nacua is still healthy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
probably
still first
like
round picks.
Yeah, mid first round and then 1-2 turn probably.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you. That game environment just jumps off the page. It seems like also with the speed, man, the pass rate over expectation that we're expecting from both sides. I mean, I just hope Arizona doesn't try and slow it down and, keep feeding James Conner. But yeah.
Yeah. I just saw Nick's comment about the Worthy fall. He was trying to set up some Mahomes stuff there. Gets none of the pass catchers. So I wonder where he's gonna go with that.
So that's one of the tough things that we were alluding to with the naked Mahomes stuff is like, I'm never going to play naked Mahomes. And in the dog bowl, it's so hard to pair him with the pass catchers unless you get that decision at like the 111 or 112, something like that. Like you need the Mahomes to fall to this side of the board, and then you need to reach on the corresponding pass catcher to get it this week. It feels tough, man.
It does, yeah. And it's, can Mahomes put up a score that's like what the score you need from quarterback, if you're going to take him that early, needs to be like 10 points above.
We're on the clock here, Nez. Can I interest you in JMO usage was pretty impressive. I kind of think Mark Andrews is a tier break at tight end. I don't mind pairing tight end and running back together.
Let's do it.
I would have said, but man, this is a tough room right now because all of like the things that were falling in other dog bowl drafts aren't falling. Like I really like this neighbors click here. I was like, maybe we could set up a backdoor Marvin Harrison with Kyler here, knowing that one team had already taken a quarterback. Jordan Mason already pushed up to the third round here. There's a tough room right now.
Yeah, this is a really tough room, and they're only going to get tougher.
Still in the league. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, what do you think about this week for Andrews? I am like trying to have a longer leash on my priors, and if we get another like all likely no Andrews week, it's going to be a little tough for me to not think that Andrew's ceiling is just like nowhere near likely's rest of season. It's going to be hard for me to not think that.
Yeah, maybe the car accident. Did we understate the car accident in August there? I don't know. Is there some lingering effect, something like that?
But on the other end, right? I mean, just like your likely bull case. They like Likely. It's his third year in the league. Tight ends tend to break out a little bit slower. Could
Mhm.
this just be like, hey, in a vacuum, Likely is just a better football player than Andrews? I mean, I think we should probably wait and see on that. But if you want to try to get ahead of market, then, keep taking Isaiah Likely. But, you know, I think the fact that the Chiefs are a good defense, let's let Andrews get a chance to get his against lesser competition this
Yeah.
spot.
Um. Okay, sorry. Let's make the pick, and then I'll retort what's going on there. I like Olave or I like Adams here. Who do you like?
I think Kamara, White, or Olave.
Kamara, White, or Olave? All right, let's do Kamara then. I think I like the back end running back options more than I like the back end wide receiver options.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Pushes me to play like kind of Adams off of this double Baltimore thing we have going here. But yeah, we could find something else.
Yeah, wide receiver definitely is like not. It doesn't really get much better, but really like these like premium running back choices available to us.
I am
So
falling apart on you, Nez, right now. I'm coughing my lungs out. I got nothing left to drink. I got a dog who's barking and has 3 toys in his mouth right here. And I'm going
three.
in. He's got 3. He's got this big ass ball. He's got this stupid ass ring thing of gold. Like it's just. But I wanted to hit on this in the chat right here. We were shouting out all the people that were in the draft with us. Topes is hanging out here, and just wanted to say appreciate the content and that he had 2 teams in the Dingers finals. So big
Let's
shout out,
go.
man. Yeah, I love that
In his second year of best ball, he got a taste of a final sweat. That's awesome.
yeah, it's amazing, man. Like I love that we've introduced people to multi-sport and that sort of thing. I was talking to Fully Loaded at length at the ship chasing party there, and he was like, "Man, you guys like it's so cool that you guys can just talk and riff about any sport, and it got me to get out of my comfort zone and play other sports." So I
Heck yeah.
know football's king on this site, and that's where the big prize pools and stuff are. But I love that people love the games enough that they stick around and they try some of the other sports and whatnot.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, hmm. What I'm trying to think as far as like which sport is like the toughest um out of
Toughest house
all of
so
them.
to win or to what?
Maybe to win. Yeah, yeah. Like which sport is like, is the toughest to win. I don't know.
I'd say
They're all fun, but like, I mean,
well, football variance is definitely a standout. Um,
mhm.
and just like the limitation on how many slates there actually are. I would say NBA dailies have become the toughest night overnight to be profitable.
I agree. I think I mean I love NBA and I'm gonna continue to jam the hell out of it, that is. But like um yeah, I think NBA is probably what I deem to be the toughest. Hockey is tough too, because like Easy saying, you got to memorize like the hockey lines, um, you know, and and the correlation involved in that. I mean, there's some absolute crushers in hockey.
Yeah, that's definitely where the knowledge of the sport plays the hardest. You know.
Hmm.
Oh my god, Des. All right, I think I'm back, dude. I think I'm back here.
Well, is it just a little down the wrong pipe issue or
I have
just
no idea, man. I have no idea.
choking?
The ice is melting in here at least, so at least I got a drop in.
Ice never melts in those things.
Yeah, it must be a knockoff, huh? uh,
All right, we
yeah,
gotta we
the
gotta look at some
model
stack
helps.
options. Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, yeah. Not everybody's set up like me. Purdy is still available.
Yeah, I kind of like Debo as a one-off, and you play the rushing touchdown narrative with him. I kind of want to do like a cheeky back stack here.
Okay.
I want to
Who's Josh setting up? Looks like
maybe
Goff.
Goff. Yeah,
You
I'm
might
gonna
need to
flirt.
take your quarterback though.
I'm gonna give you 2. Bounce back week, Trevor Lawrence plus insert pass catcher, or Justin Herbert plus Ladd or Joshua Palmer.
Yeah, I'd prefer the Herbert side of that.
Let's take the Herbert first then.
Yeah, hopefully Josh or Sweeney don't take our pass catcher there.
Professional ass wide receivers can get it done too. Just look at no further than Alan Lazard last night.
John, higher,
Yes.
lower, not counting this last game, 4.5 games, Deshaun Watson starting at quarterback.
Oh, man. Dude, you know what's on the table with that is the Russ narrative, where they're paying him all this money and they're doing this. Like, I mean, Russ isn't getting the money, but like the Russ narrative in terms of like they healthy scratch him without healthy scratching him with the tell him he's got an injury that's worse than the injury is, and they let him play quarterback on the sideline. Or this most recent off-field allegation, they hope gets blown out of proportion. They leak a little shit themselves. They can get some of that money on the contract voided, and then they can get out from under it. That's gal brain. That's gal brain take.
It's not. Right, I don't think it's gal brain. I think they're definitely hoping that the NFL takes strong action, because I mean this is not the first allegation, obviously. So I think they're definitely like hoping that the NFL can help get them off the hook because of that. And I hope the NFL does as well, just from like a, I mean, not that I need to, let everybody know where I stand morally, but like, fuck them. And also like, let's see some better football, because they have Jameis Winston waiting. We will no doubt see more fun football if Jameis Winston is their quarterback.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. Wow, Will Disley scroll there, just playing some game environment plays there. Nez, I vote Ladd. I really like what I saw out of Ladd last week. I thought the usage was really encouraging. I thought the touchdown looked good. Thought he looked athletic. And there's a non-zero chance that Joshua Palmer could face some disciplinary stuff.
There was a Underdog. I like McConkey. Underdog NFL did tweet that Palmer will not be suspended. Okay. That could be, that could just be a bad report. It's not coming from the account. It's coming from a report that they're just, retweeting. There's a chance that that does not take place and that he does get suspended. Regardless, I think, I mean, Palmer for me was more of like a season-long play where he was going for best ball. He can have good games. I think McConkey showed us that the ceiling is higher with him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree with everything you just said, man. Oh my God. Nick is not wrong. Rip John, not sure how much longer he lasts. Honest to God, man, I have no idea what happened to me there. All right. Our guy Biff is telling me that he's going to scroll the F down super hard.
And
what did he do? Tyler Johnson. All right. The Tyler Johnson versus Jordan Whittington versus Demarcus Robinson debate there with the Rams stuff. That's a cheeky backdoor stack with Stafford that probably pissed off the Cooper Kupp drafter. Nope. Jumfrey was good. He already had a quarterback there. But yeah, man, there's a cheeky little skinny stack at the back end there. Tyler Johnson played a lot.
I mean, I am a Tyler Johnson respecter. I was excited to play him when he was a Buccaneer and he had opportunities to step up and, get some perceived usage there. I did not think that he was bad. I had someone in my dynasty league that was like really high on Tyler Johnson. So I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I was like, oh shit, I think I kind of like Tyler Johnson too. So unironically, do not think that he is a bad play. I mean, I'm not going to draft him. But like, if you're in a managed league, a deep one or something, I would definitely throw something out there for Tyler Johnson, because I think that he might actually be able to play.
Yeah, 5 for 79 in the first game there. Played about 60-something% of snaps. I just had it pulled up on the other screen. 65% of snaps. Demarcus Robinson was out there for 92% of them, but he's a little bit older, and he's kind of
how much older?
Professional wide receiver territory.
You got some calling Tyler Johnson a little bit older. How old is Tyler Johnson?
No. Tyler Johnson's not a little bit older. Demarcus Robinson's a little bit older.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Nez, let's do a couple BRs here and then call it. I gotta take this dog to the groomer, but I want to get at least 2 battle royales. Maybe we got time to sneak another one in there out.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, Demarcus Robinson. How old is he again? Let's find out in real
I think he
time. Is he
turns
33?
31. I think he turns 31.
He's only 29.
29?
I thought he was like 33.
No. Come on. Nobody
Dude,
lasts in the league that long.
I mean, dude, he's been around since 2016.
Yeah, that's true. Must be bullish that his first guaranteed deal that he finally got after playing on the Chiefs and
Draft him in the 13th.
The Baltimore Ravens and stuff.
Oh, we snuck a past one on the listeners and the viewers here. The under and overflows must just be popping off right now because we got one badge in this draft with us.
This is where we go to work. This is where we show the people that we got them drafting chops. When we're not battling with the community full of sharps here, this is where we get Jordan Mason in the 6th round or something like that, and we prove how sharp we are.
Buddy.
Yeah.
This is it.
Trev asking who we thinking as the best CMC swap options from the 6th.
I think I got one.
Okay.
I think I might have one. Jordan Mason, the backup running back for the San Francisco 49ers, had a really good game last night on Monday Night Football. I would definitely swap to him if you have Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, you cheeky bastard. Oh, man.
It depends on, are you talking 6-man or
yeah,
12s?
Probably. I'd imagine he's talking the 6-mans. And Jordan Mason will be the 1-0-1 swap if it breaks that way. Nez, we're on the clock here. I alluded to the Justin Jefferson stuff there. I like him over kind of like Amon-Ra and Breece Hall this week so far. I don't know if the projections will agree with me, but let's just take the best wide receiver in football.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
See what this dude does, if he's going to take McCaffrey or not. He could take McCaffrey here and say, you know what, I want first dibs at swaps. Now he has 7th dibs at swaps. Okay, he double taps.
What do you like, Nez? We could scroll down to Debo and play that game environment that way, but we can leave the light on for Mason on this team, and we can pick somebody else. Williams. Oh, there's Kyron. Almost missed him. Mm-hmm. Oh yes, of course we're taking Kyron.
Yeah, I'm just jamming him.
Agreed with you, bro. Agreed.
91% of snaps, man.
Dark Sheep chiming in that Kyle Shanahan says he has Achilles tendonitis. Yikes! That does not sound good.
Yeah, you really need to play it cautious with him, I would think, right? I mean, it just doesn't seem necessary to force him in against the Vikings in week 2.
Jack asking how the swapping works. The 6th hole, the 6th place right here, this Jamar Chase pick right there is the 1-0-1 of swapping. So it's the first round picks backwards in a snake fashion. If you follow my mouse like this, right?
Exactly. Yep. So being pick 36 gives you last dibs at swaps if there's more than one swap in your lobby.
Correct.
So definitely keep that in mind. Any other questions on swaps? We definitely got you. Also check out Jewish McCaffrey on Twitter. Had a really nice write-up on how swaps work. And as far as the order of which priority works for swaps, it's your set ranks. So you can set ranks and then that will prioritize your swaps, or you can just let ADP choose your swap as well. But we recommend ranks.
Yes, sir. We're back up on the clock here. Jordan Mason goes right there.
Wow.
We got a Lamar fall to us. Could be kind of fun.
I would do that.
We could do the McBride.
I think third round Lamar is pretty sick.
Okay. Yeah, the onesies are strong this week, so I'm noticing in like the majority of drafts that they are falling in the 6-mans. They get propped up a little bit more in the other ones, but a falling Lamar to the 3rd round there at 17 feels good. Feels bad to pair him with Henry. We could play Pacheco, ape into the other game environment, or we could do some scrolling to Connor, McBride. What do you like?
I do like Zay Flowers as a pairing, but we might not have to take him right away. I like Pacheco as well.
All right, let's do the Pacheco thing. Get a piece of that other high total game there. Hope that it doesn't funnel through Mahomes, and then we double bubble that leverage coupled with Lamar. there. Sorry, I was looking for Juice McCaffrey's tweet here, but he just tweets way too fucking much that I can't find it. I'm
Respect the
scrolling and
man's brand,
scrolling.
John.
Yeah, scroll the F down on his Twitter feed. Holy smokes, man. I'm
Yeah,
still
Jack,
going.
correct. You only get to swap if that player is declared out. That's correct. But you cannot draft somebody doubtful or already out and get a swap. You'll get a dialog box on your desktop or on your app that says, "Hey, you're about to draft somebody that cannot be swapped. Are you cool with it?" So yeah, that's just a FYI.
I got a confession, Des. Before it was officially official, but so the official inactives sheet hadn't come out, but the tweet had come out that McCaffrey wasn't going to play last night, and the out tag had been placed on the site, but the official inactives like page had not been updated on NFL.com, and there wasn't like maybe it was a lag issue, maybe it was just like it fully wasn't reported yet. I took 2 out tag Christian McCaffreys last night with my very last pick in the 6th round and paired them with Tyreek Hill and Josh Allen or something like that, just in case.
Honestly, like I don't know, man. What if it was an accident?
Right? Yeah.
I can't even hate that.
Man, what is going on here? There we go. Okay, I finally found.
You're on the clock though.
Oh God. Okay, we got Lamar. Andrews is gone. We could pair Likely with it. Henry we can't take.
Flowers
Neighbors
gone?
we yes.
Assholes. I like Neighbors.
Yeah, there's Olave or Neighbors.
I would go Neighbors.
Okay. Yeah, I mean you get a little bit of ownership discount on the Olave stuff this week. I think it's gonna slowly become one of my favorite plays.
I do like that call.
Evan Ingram going there. I think that's like a good bounce back spot. For the record, I don't think David Njoku or Jake Ferguson plays football this week with those Q tags. I think Likely is the obvious pick here as a stack partner, but we can run Naked Lamar and play something else. Like we don't have a San Francisco piece, and it's a run back off of Jefferson.
I like Kittle.
You like Kittle over Likely in a vacuum?
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting. I think he'll project better.
Sure.
Especially if we get the McCaffrey out. Man, Likely looks fun though. Like as much as you want to like shit on not you, the collective you, as much as we want to shit on the fact that he played less snaps and less routes and stuff out of the slot than Mark Andrews, and we want to go, hey, Mark Andrews was getting like bracketed cover and they were taking him away, and look at the historical splits of Mark Andrews versus the Chiefs and that defense, right? Like we can break it all down and spin zone it. If we just put our like IQ meme on, like Likely go Burr when Likely made some sick ass plays, like the little stop up before the end zone to send the DB flying bad and then step into the end zone. Like some of the plays he made were just like so nasty that I just want to be like hype on him, you know? Like, do I think it's a bad ADP? Do I think it's a bad price tag? Do I want to have, him at relative to the field in ownership this week in our contest? Absolutely not. But like, is Likely also fun as fuck? Oh yeah. Like,
yeah, I mean, the fantasy score speaks for itself, right? And I mean, the usage was definitely like so good that you almost should just like count on it again,
Right. Yeah. Yes, James, this is why we love the beginning of the week, man. This is where you get all
the battle royales on Underdog Fantasy.
You can get all the super teams you want, and they look so
here,
beautiful.
James, use promo code MLB whenever you deposit, and you can get a deposit match up to $1,000, 50% of that. So definitely consider. Here we go.
Jonathan in lockstep here with the Olave stuff like that. The Shoemaker as a scroll the F down at tight end. Why not? Like if you don't get, like I wouldn't do it in the dog bowl just yet. I would do it as a swap. Like I think I would take Ferg and then just swap to him Yeah, I think I would still do that with the Q tag. But if we get like, two a DNP and a DNP to start the week, I think in the dog bowls and the 12 mans, you can definitely make a case for it.
Yeah. I have a confession to make.
Oh no.
I drafted Schoonmaker in
Ooh.
Best Ball Mania approximately
Ooh.
one time.
Wow. There you go. Congratulations in the
Yeah,
18th
yeah,
round.
maybe that's the team. Maybe that's the team. I don't know which one it is, but
Mhm.
I'll have to check Best Ball Explorer for that. But I do have one Schoonmaker selection.
All right. I respect it. Nez, this is kind of how the boards have been running here. Lamb and Cup go off the start, which is crazy because Cup was going at like ADP 15 before this. I would push up Jefferson or do Brees Hall. Which would you do?
Mm, I think. What do you? Good. You sound like you
I,
had a conviction.
I was gonna say let's do Brees because we just did Jefferson for the sake of the stream. Let's make a different build here and
Yeah,
find a
yeah.
different way to build it. But I would like also to know your answer.
It probably would have been Brees for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to add this little tweet in the chat here for anyone who wants a more detailed breakdown of the swaps. I think this is, we've made videos on it in the past, or we've made shows on it and kind of walked through it all. But here you go. Juice McCaffrey did this big ass one, member of the community here, and just he lists out, in order which picks to which picks, get priority kind of thing. So yeah, go ahead and check that out there. Dropped it in the chat for everybody. There is a little bit of leverage in swaps early in the week when you're drafting. Maybe not with an ADP like Christian McCaffrey's, for instance, but like when everybody else is pushing like Jordan Mason in the middle rounds, and then by happenstance, Christian McCaffrey just ends up playing or something like that, and they have dead roster spots. There's probably a smarter way to do it where you take a Q tag and then swap to so and so or whatever. So yeah, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Chase looks like a tier break for me at wide receiver this week. I still like Chase.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we should take Jamar Chase here.
okay. Yeah, I like it. Debo, people are pushing it up now. Like Debo's going in front, Kyron's going in front. Like
Yeah.
this is what the projections are going to tell us in a couple days here, where this is going to get pushed up. And if you get bearish news on CMC, Jordan Mason's going to be in this same conversation up here. So we're gonna have to find some pivots off it because we're going to be aping into like worser combos than other people have already obtained, right?
Yeah, gotta find your edge. And things will present themselves too. Later in the week as we get more clarity with injury reports and whatnot. We'll be seeing the field in a different light. But for now, I think we have two of the higher projected players at their respective positions on one team. So that feels good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that does feel good. 90% of snaps for Amon-Ra St. Brown last week, and JMO played like 85 and had a really nice stat line to go with it there, going as our guy Luke in the chat is alluding to, going against a depleted Tampa Bay secondary. Are those some plays that you want to get over your skis on, Nez?
On which ones were those again?
Are you drafting? You son of a! We're drafting together, man. Detroit.
Which
Detroit.
Of course, I want to get over Detroit, man.
Yeah.
It's one of the best games on the fucking slate.
Yeah. Might I suggest Trey McGronk here? Or do you like Laporta? You like Garrett Wilson more? What do you like?
I could get on board with McGronk. I think him and Laporta are like very similar to me this week. And
all right, let's do Laporta then. We can do Laporta. Play that game environment through a different target there.
Yeah, I mean, I think either one are good, and it counts as an attack on the Bucs secondary, which I do agree is how you do attack them for sure.
Mm-hmm. Let's do some scrolling here, Nez. We got a Brees Hall, we got a Jamar Chase, and we got a Sam Laporta thus far. I think we got to get a little scrolly here, dude. We got to get some contrarian plays, maybe some different game environments that we haven't touched yet. I think I got one.
Okay, I'm excited to hear what you have in store for us here. That's a interest. Okay, so he goes Mahomes, Kelsey. I didn't see the Kelsey. I was gonna say that's a very spicy.
Goes there. Let's take Jaden Daniels here.
Yes.
Let's do that one. That one feels fun. I mean, 2 touchdowns on the ground last week, 88 yards on the ground. It feels like the shitty game of the week that could pop, as we were alluding to earlier there. I think there's a nice little run back potential with our 27 pick there, and then we can do a super scroll to either stack with Jaden, but I would prefer to leave him unstacked and find like a little contrarian play down there somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's totally fine in the main BR to leave Daniels unstacked. I would probably stack him in DeBomb or something of that sort. Just because the matchup is just like so good that you might as well just do it. But yeah, I think in the main BR it's totally fine. Like the Millie Maker on Redacted, there I saw some commentary and you see it all the time. Like, I want to know what this guy was up to whenever he made this lineup. Like, buddy, you're trying to beat hundreds of thousands of people. Like,
Right.
I think sometimes you do have to thread a needle,
Yeah.
and we're threading needles here with 6 player rosters.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let the Nez bots cook. He's queuing
They're
them
not.
up.
They're not even cooking right now. I'm just trying to get a stat or two up on my in front of me here.
No asking like the EV and the edge changes throughout the week and optimal drafting times for the BRs and stuff like that. We could do a full episode on that. We've touched on it, briefly or whatever. But effectively, one isolated week of battle royales mirrors that of an entire summer of BBM. Right, like that's the easiest way to think of it. In early in the week, we're searching for closing line value. We're searching for plays that nobody else has seen yet. We're trying to get ahead of things. I was going to suggest Neighbors here as a bring back off of the Jaden Daniels stuff.
Yeah. Let's do Neighbors again.
Okay.
I will say, shout out Sports Viz Billy Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He had a pretty cool thread on BR data that he was combing through, and based on drafted date, earlier in the week proved to be better for the results of those drafts compared to other teams. Not that you're drawing dead if you're not drafting on Monday or whenever the BRs drop, but that data did sort of say that teams that drafted earlier in the week did do better, but that's purely descriptive, not predictive.
Right. And chalk formulates itself like over the course of a week, right? We're gonna get some 6th-round Jordan Mason here if we want it. You like it more than like a Rashad White bring back or scrolling even further than that?
Yeah, because you're going to get CLV on this, and
Yeah.
Jordan Mason will be going in the 2nd round if we get CMC doubtful anytime soon. But they're going to wait. They're going to make us wait for that because they don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ness. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. So yes, this is kind of like an eye opener in terms of like combos early in the week comparative to later in the week. That once the projection models come out and you get some more news, like that combo that we just drafted on stream will not manifest itself later. There's a little bit of noise in the Billy Jones data or stuff because I think the type of player and the archetype of player drafting earlier in the week is quote unquote sharper or a better drafter than the people drafting at the tail end of weeks, Nez. So I do think there's a little bit of, structural noise in that, there'll be less, naked pocket passing quarterback teams drafted early in the week than later in the week because of the archetype of drafter. Same with BBM. Like that sort of thing. But yeah, I think that was a really good thread, and he did a little bit of show there with shout out the fantasy dog pound there as well, and they talked through some of it.
Yeah, good call.
Calls coming from inside the house. All right, we're almost at 2 hours here. I haven't pleaded, requested, or said anything yet, but please drop us a like, a subscribe, a notification bell. Tomorrow is going to be a paywall show with Nez. Thursday is up in the air right now, but I imagine we'll do something Primetime Palooza related. I'm away. This is my last wonky week, and then I promise to be fully dedicated 5 days a week, henceforth for the good people there. But I'm going to a wedding this weekend, or this week rather. I'm flying out tomorrow morning, so travel day for me tomorrow. I will do my best to hop on off and on the clock at 2:30. But let's plan for kind of like everything here on out, 2 p.m. Eastern, here on the Bash Bros channel, Underdog Daily. Things are going to be happening. Consider becoming a member. It's less than the buy-in for Well, it's the same as the buy-in for one battle royale there a month. And we're going to do 2 paywall shows a week for you from week 3 onward. That's a promise right there. Nez, anything else to add, to think through, to close with?
No, I will see you guys in these lobbies, and yeah, tomorrow should be fun. A little bit of dog bowl, a little bit of primetime palooza. We'll have a blast.
Absolutely, man. Love it. All right. Nez will be hanging out behind the paywall tomorrow. So join up there. If you're not playing on Underdog Fantasy, use promo code MLB at sign up there. Deposit match opponent. Deposit mass bat. I butchered it. Fuck it. You guys are already playing on the site today. Can't get my words out. I'm staring at the clock right now, Nez, and I'm like, we're 2 hours and it's 12 o'clock my time. It's actually 12:01, and this dog is supposed to be
Yeah,
at the groomer at 12 o'clock.
yeah, dude, just go, please.
just log off, man. Just sign off.
The punctual person in me is like absolutely just anxious out of my gourd right now for you. Just please go. Stop
Dude,
being late.
you would drive yourself crazy if you lived your life the way I live my life.
I could never. I simply could never. I am a 5 minutes early everywhere I go type of guy.
All right. Okay. On behalf of Nez, I'm John. We are the Badge Bros. This is Underdog Daily, everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.